Hi, it's me, Eric, again. I'm back. This is my second video, and I went on a computer after I posted my first video a month or two ago, I think, and I think it's a big success because I went on, I was looking at it, and I type in "Hi, I'm Eric," and I find my video, and I click on the video to look, and it says I've got 81 hits, and I think that's pretty good. And then because like when I first started checking it, there was like 9 or 10 hits, and then I look on it, and every time I go back every day and I'd find it again, and I'd look at it, and there'd be one more hit every time after I checked every day. There was one more hit added to it, so at least one person every day is looking at it, so I think that's pretty good. So I thought I'd make a second one and see how this one does. And I know I had fun with the last one. I told a joke, and I told a little about myself. But I think tonight I'm a little more of a serious mood because I've been having some deep thoughts lately. I have for the past probably 3 years or longer than that, but since I didn't have a job. But I've always had deep thoughts, but they're taking over a lot more in my mind. I spend a lot more time thinking about them, so I just want to start. Do you like dreams? Dreams are not like, follow your dream. I mean dreams like when, I think we all have when we go to sleep at night, and you have these like little movies playing in your head. Mine are very realistic, and I've heard people say you don't dream in color. I always dream in color because I'll wake up and, as this woman was wearing a really vivid red dress, and she had blue eyes, so I know that I dream in color. But anyway, did you ever have like a dream that you were dreaming? Because I think that's maybe a bit weird because I've never talked to anybody that's had that like that. But once in a while I have a dream that dreaming, and then in my dream I'll wake up and I'll say, "Wow, Mom, I just dreamed this dream that you and Dad were," and it was really weird because you were roller skating. And then I'll wake up like an hour later and an alarm will go off. I was dreaming, but that I was dreaming that I was having a dream. So the mind is a terrible thing. It can be. And then I would think about how we think so fast we can't write or even type. Even the best secretary in the world can't type as fast as you can think, and the computers are so speedy. But I read somewhere that the computers aren't even as fast as the human brain. So, and I can believe that because sometimes I'll be in a situation where I go, and I'll go, and like, I would think like in 1 second, a whole paragraph if I read it on that paper, but maybe that's just me. But I was thinking, what language do people think in if they're bilingual, or if they grew up as a child in a foreign country, and they've been speaking English or something for 40 years, or if they speak 3 or 4 languages, do they think in English, or do they think in what they were taught as when they learned how to talk when they were 2 or whatever? That's another thing. What do babies? Babies and excuse me. I want a fizzy beverage. I like fizzy beverage. A scoop. But there's, excuse me, the babies, before they learn to talk, they don't know any language because it's just baby thoughts. And maybe they don't talk until they're 2, but they can maybe think because they're imitating the language of their parents or whatever. So what language do babies think in before they talk? And they think, because I can see them working out in their little minds in their head. They're playing with blocks and they're trying to figure out how to do things and play. They've got to be thinking. So what are they thinking? Do I put this block here? Or I drop that and I want my mommy? I think in English myself, because that's what I've always spoken. Sometimes I think in Spanish, now that I think about it though. Because I had like 3 years in high school. But anyway, I don't know what babies think of the languages. So that's another thought, deep thought that I was having. And what about foods? There's so many natural foods before it was ever man-made, like fruits and vegetables. And there had to be someone first, like, ooh, look at these things growing in the spine, and they're long and green, and if you bite them, they're really in that, your eyes start watering, you cough, you can't breathe, and it's like a habanero pepper or a jalapeno pepper. And those poor people, they didn't have chefs or cooks or their mom and dad to tell them, oh, don't bite into those. You gotta blend it in with tomatoes and water. That'll really hurt you. Those poor people. I can't believe it. And like mushrooms, how would anyone ever think, oh look, there's this fungus that's growing on the ground because it rained for several days and it wasn't here last week, and maybe this is good. And they pick it at, and some like the poison mushrooms or toadstools, and maybe they brought it back to their tribe or whatever the clan was, and they ate it, and they didn't have pizza or hummus, but they could slice up the mushrooms and share it. And I hate mushrooms; they're nasty. It tastes like dirt to me, so I never would even to try to eat them as food. But maybe people that prefer mushrooms and the people that came upon them originally just really love them and they're great. But then one day, that like maybe Tommy or whatever, a typical boy name back then, came back and, oh look at these, I found these were down in the forest, and these look really good, and they're flat on top. I've never had this kind. And they try it, and this whole family died or got sick, and it's terrible. I mourn for those people that were kind of like the pioneers of the foods that we eat now. We just take it for granted that it's okay, and people tell you if they're poison or not poison. And fruits, like obviously there's, if you see a shiny apple or an orange or a lemon, it's kind of tart or whatever, but they look good and they look natural, like your instinct would maybe want you would love to eat those. But what about like carrots or potatoes, things that grow in the ground? Maybe you're going along someday and there's cavemen, or well, not cavemen, but maybe forest people or prairie rangers and farmers will come along like, oh look at this is a good plant. Or maybe they're just pulling weeds, like they didn't like it in their lawn, and the carrots go and they pull it out, and then, oh surprise, it's like a big or bright orange long thing, and they thought, wow, this looks good because it's the same color like those fruits in the trees, so they munch it. This is good, So maybe, but potatoes, that wouldn't be, they look like just big, I won't say, but there's different kind of potatoes, and maybe it's kind of crunchy, they don't have much flavor. But then they found out if you put them in water and boil them for like half an hour, they'd be really good. But I don't know, it's just, I don't want to mean hundreds of years it took for those food pioneers to figure out what was good and what wasn't, and how many people got sick and died over the years. I don't know. It's kind of like, so many things baffle me, like crayons. I love the smell of crayons. And they have those air fresheners like new car smell and old car smell and pine and musk and those manly smells and like the fruits for the women. And then I just wanted crayons. As a child, would just get in. Sometimes if I get a new one, the box, they're still sharpened and they're just, don't have any stuff or dust all over them. The kid fingers have been, grease them up and put them back in. They're just virginal. You just crayon, you break the seal and you do that cardboard thing. I'd exhale all the way so I could have as much intake breath as I could, and I just inhale full. Just crayons, best smell in the world for, well, an 8-year-old or so. I'd never eat them. I wasn't stupid. I just, knew the smell was good. Plus the wax would, get caught in the teeth. But I loved all the colors and the different descriptions, and wondered who'd think up these color descriptions. And they're probably all CEOs of people that make up names for the new car paints now and making millions. But anyway, originally when crayons, and there'd be, and you get to I remember, I think it was new in the early 70s, when I was little, because I don't remember until I got the 64 or 128 pack that had the extra colors in it, where they're like grasping and trying, like there's 5 different shades of green and orange. But the bonus was you got the metallic colors, silver, gold, and even bronze. I remember bronze stuff. I didn't know what a bronze was because I was a little kid and I wasn't a drummer yet and I didn't play cymbals and I didn't have any statues. So I didn't know what bronze was. I had to ask my mom. I thought, oh look, it looks like gold, but it's darker, isn't it? It's like gold mixed with brown. But how did they, if crayons are made of wax and they contain no metal or lead, how do they get those metal colored crayons to glitter? The silver looked like silver, the gold looked like gold, and the bronze looked like, well, pretty much the bronze I've seen. There's never a copper one that I remember, or aluminum. But anyway, I could be wrong. But I love crayons. And anyway, I have several deep thoughts. And another one is do birds have penises? Do you know? Because, you hear about the birds and the bees, the whole thing. That was always a metaphor for, the facts of life and all that. And I don't know about bees. That's kind of strange. But birds, I see them flock mating and they do their dumb dance. But I don't know if they consummate or when. And is it in a tree or the ground, or can they do it? Can they mate in the air? And they flutter around. And I think that's just, he's kind of like, hey, I need to mate. Hey, could you be my wife? Kind of thing. And let's make some eggs. But I don't know. Anyway, I just kind of thoughts that I have. So I may be getting off track, which I didn't really know what it was. But I'll think of some more deep thoughts, and I'll check the computer here and see if I get more hits. It's as big as the first one, and hopefully I'll make another one. So, yeah. Thanks.